Hello, my name is Ann DeSantis. I'm the director for the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith. I want to tell you what's been going on with us since we've been in existence in 2015. The Mercedarian friars came together and decided that they wanted to start a foundation to make outreach to families in crisis. And that's exactly what they did when the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation came into existence as a nonprofit 501c3 headquartered in Philadelphia. Since that time, I became the director in the beginning of 2018, and we basically have four facets to what we do. We offer prayer, priestly consultations, podcasts and videos, and also programs and events. Now, if you've never been to our website, just to invite you to go to nonatus.org and check out all the great things that we've been doing. Because since that time, since we've been in existence, we've now helped hundreds of families who are going through really challenging times. And as you all know, we went through a really challenging time in 2020. So I'd just like to invite you to go and check out the great things that we're doing. And there's more to come. If you or your church community would like us to come and do some type of an event where we can talk about what we offer in terms of that pastoral accompaniment and making outreach to families in crisis, please do reach out to us. And I'm just so grateful to be able to serve people like you and your families. So again, learn about us at nonatus.org. Thank you.
Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry present Journeys in Faith. Now, here's Ann DeSantis.
Hello, welcome to Journeys in Faith here on Fiat Ministry Network. My name is Ann DeSantis, and I have a wonderful guest for all of you this evening. I have Cathy Gilmore, and I had the pleasure of seeing her this summer in July at the Catholic Marketing Network conference. It was such a pleasure to be able to meet her in person and so many other wonderful ministries with my co-host Bill Snyder on the Sowing Hope podcast. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to the creator of the Virtue Heroes series, Cathy Gilmore. Welcome to Journeys in Faith.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. This is a delight. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've been excited to host you because I know, you're a busy person with all the great things that you're doing. So why don't we start out with Virtue Heroes? What are Virtue Heroes and how did you get involved in what you do?
Well, I had the desire for over 25 years to be a children's book author, published children's book author, ever since I graduated from college. And my life journey had lots of ups and downs, but the one thing that was a constant was that I was afraid of people, afraid of situations. And I was afraid of the process of publishing. So I was always writing. I have piles of notebooks, all that kind of stuff, and yet never made it happen until my sister came alongside of me and we published a book called Easter Bunny's Amazing Day. This was a number of years ago. And it rebooted the whole story of the Easter Bunny. So we put him in the cave with Jesus, so he's a witness to the resurrection. It's really fun. But that's where I found my author voice. And so then I started creating this whole series of little animals that tell the story of Bible moments, and they focus on a virtue. And so virtue is ultimate superpower, all right? And so these little characters are sidekicks. So they're the sidekick for the child to help the child grow in virtue, grow in their superpower. So I am everyone's sidekick.
I love the work that you're doing, and I love the Virtue Heroes because I got to read them, read your books. You had sent them to me, and I'm so grateful because I do a lot of book reviews and things like that. And so thank you for all the great work that you're doing with your writing, with everything that you're doing. Now, tell us a little bit more about what you've seen in terms of the reaction that children and families have to this series, because I myself being a former homeschooling mother, I know that virtue is such an important aspect of what you want your children to learn and really live.
Right. And that's what this series is designed really to hone in on, is to give children a desire for virtue, so that we're if you're ever talking to somebody who does character education or virtue education, they talk about two key components. One is role models and relationships. It's who does the child have a relationship with, and is that someone that they can look up to that inspires them to want to be good, want to be virtuous? And then do they have realistic, approachable role models that even when they're not in a relationship with them, they can look to them as sort of touchstones of, that's what this good thing is like. They show you how to be that good way, okay? Well, the Virtue Heroes are designed to do both. So the little child imaginary makes a relationship with the little character, like Moshe the mouse in the first story. You know, the little child relates to that little tiny mouse. We're all tiny, you know, when we're little. And so then the little mouse leads the child to the true virtue hero, who is a holy person, a saint or someone like that. And in that case, little Moshe is friends with Mary right before the Annunciation. And so the story tells about the Annunciation. So I set up each story that way, but then there's always a mission virtue hero along with the story, that is someone who's a saint or a holy soul, holy person, who has acted on life with virtue, you know, that's a little bit less remote than the biblical story characters. And so you always, and in that one, it's a heroic, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget my own character. It's a samurai who traded his sword for the cross. And so it's an obscure saint, and it's great, but every story is set up that way. So there's two virtue heroes and one little tiny virtue hero who's the sidekick.
Well, I have to say you did a great job. It's entertaining even for adults, really. So please do check it out. Where's the best place that people can buy Virtue Heroes?
They can find out everything about all these little characters and stories at virtueheroes.com. And
easy website.
And then they have links there to buy them. I have it where you can buy it through my publisher, Perpetual Light Publishing. Jeannie Egolf is my illustrator, and she's also managing the distribution and the publication. But also, people can get them on Amazon. I try to give alternatives to Amazon because I like to give the smaller businesses, you know, stores, the ability to really, you know, grow and be part of the process as well.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much for the amazing work that you're doing. Now, I would love to talk to you about a few different things, because you do strategic partnerships, communications, and event planning. And I'm familiar with Catholic Marketing Network, but I know that there's something else that you want to tell us about in terms of that strategic partnership.
Yes. So when I'm not wearing my author hat, I do strategic partnerships, which means I get people together. I'm Yentl. I'm a matchmaker, and I get people together to help their business or their ministry to flourish. And I do that for Catholic Marketing Network, and I also do that for Adventure Catechism Media. They are the people that bring us the online platform known as Catholic Brain. People know them more through the Catholic Brain platform, which is amazing. And for you as like a homeschool educator, if this had been around when your kids were young, you would have eaten it up, because it's such a really fun, interactive way to practice the faith through videos, games, activities, you name it. So good stuff. So I'm proud to be affiliated with both of these great organizations.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And I know we're going to talk a whole lot more about that. Before we take our break, I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about you. And you have such a beautiful faith story. And we might have to do like a part 1 and part 2 before the commercial break and after the commercial break. But please do share with our audience a little bit about your faith journey.
Absolutely. Well, I grew up, as I say, like many people, in a family with trauma and drama. And so my operating system as a little child was fear. I was afraid, as I say in the storybook about the Easter Bunny, afraid of everything almost all the time. And so, but every single day I had to get up and learn how to climb over the fear in order to do life. And that's what ultimately has given me my superpower, which is perseverance. And that's what helps me to be able to do all the different kinds of things that I do. And along this journey, the perseverance really came into play as well, because when I was about, 15 years into my marriage, we really reached a crisis. And I thought that the best thing I could do for my kids was to leave my husband. And I left my Catholic church at the same time. So this was like cataclysmic in my life. But I was searching, and it was interesting because God got a hold of me. You know, I was off on quite the crazy journey. But God got a hold of me because he wouldn't let me have any peace in my heart about divorcing, about the path that I was on. I just couldn't have any peace. And finally, I slammed my fist on my dining room table one day and said, I dare you, God, to fix this marriage. Now, do I need to leave that as a cliffhanger for our break, or do I have time to tell?
Yeah, let's leave it as a cliffhanger, because
Okay.
I know that story will probably be a little longer than maybe the beginning half. So thank you so much. And we will be right back. So stay tuned here on Journeys in Faith with my guest, Cathy Gilmore.
Today, many students go to college with numerous questions about their faith, yearning to know if the seed planted in them as a child is both true and practical. Using the miracle on the road to Emmaus as a model, young adult ministers conversed weekly for 3 months with college students about the most pressing questions they had about the Catholic faith. As they journeyed together virtually, something amazing happened. Doubts disappeared, fears faded, and Jesus revealed that he is still alive. Hearts Burning Within Us, the latest book from Patchwork Heart Ministry, is a result of that grace-infused conversation. It is the perfect back-to-school gift for recent high school graduates and current college students. Get your copy for them today at patchworkheart.org or by calling 424-704-3278. That's 424-704-3278.
Welcome back to Journeys in Faith. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fiat Ministry Network with my amazing guest, Cathy Gilmore. And right before the break, she was telling us a little bit about the beginning of her faith journey. And then we have like a little cliffhanger there. So Cathy, please do pick up where we left off.
Absolutely. So at that moment, my family, my children are very small. We're going back and forth between two houses. We're not divorced, we're separated. And I challenged God. I dared God to fix my marriage. And what was interesting is that, that showed what a little tiny mustard seed of faith that I have. The fact that I was daring God to do something. And of course, he's smiling at me like, ha, ha, ha. And so within a week's time, I ended up thinking of things in a different way. People would come across my path. So many little dominoes started to fall that it became clear to me that I was supposed to give my marriage another try. And I was supposed to persevere in this marriage relationship where I felt like, oh no, it'd never work. I'd bought into so many of the messages of the culture that, you have trouble in your marriage, you leave it behind, you go start fresh, do something else. And the idea that God could renew and refresh my marriage was kind of foreign. And it was definitely a leap of faith for me to go forward. But now fast forward, we did reconnect, and our marriage has continued to grow over the years. And what's interesting is it only took God a year for us to reconnect in the marriage. It took 5 years for God to bring me back into the Catholic Church. So that was a much longer journey, and it took my husband a lot of patience. I mean, he was basically praying and hoping that I would convert before I died. And yet within 5 years, God put the pieces together and brought me back. And so now I have the zeal of a convert, that I'm a cradle Catholic, but definitely with the zeal of a convert. And that's, I think, what helps energize all these things that I do. And it's where I connect with virtue so much, because I saw that me climbing over the fear, learning how to persevere all those years, taught me that strength, that inner strength, that when it's energized with faith, then it becomes that strength of virtue. And so that's why now I'm the virtue lady.
I love to hear your story, and I have heard it more than once because I interviewed you. We interviewed you. By that, I mean Bill Snyder and I on Sowing Hope. It was such an honor to have you there. And I'm never bored listening to your story again, because it's an amazing journey that you and your husband had. I also have to mention, and this, is that I'm the director for a nonprofit that has helped a lot of people who are affected, Catholics who are affected by divorce and separation. So you just give us all hope when I hear this story. And want to ask the audience, they probably saw in the commercial a reference to the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation. But if you have a story like that you're contemplating separation or divorce, connect with us at nonnatus.org, because our charism is that pastoral accompaniment for families in crisis. And I know you know all about that, don't you, Cathy? I mean, you know all about what it's like to be a family facing some kind of adversity.
And I just always encourage anybody that is in that point, that difficult point, when you think that nothing will work, you think it's over, is that I completely advocate for separating. Take a time of separation. Do not make big long-term decisions then, but take a time to breathe for both of you. And then get some guidance and lots of prayer, and see what God can do, because God can do things you don't think are possible.
Yeah, that's right. I think he's done so much in your life, and you've got all these different things going on, whether it be the strategic planning and the events and coordinating amazing things. I mean, like I said, I saw you at the Catholic Marketing Network conference this past summer. And I have to just commend you on the wonderful job that you did. Now, I know it wasn't just your own effort, it was so many other people, but really just did a great job being the MC and heading up the whole organizing of it all. What do you like best about that kind of work? Because I know that it's different from the authorship, isn't it? It's a little bit different.
Yes.
What do you like a lot about that part of your work?
Well, I think that that's where me considering myself everybody's sidekick comes in. Because when I'm in those settings at those events, because at the Catholic Marketing Network Momentum event, we're coming alongside everybody who is involved in Catholic ministry, runs a Catholic store, does Catholic publishing, or even is a Catholic that does other kinds of work, but really wants to be activated in an apostolate or a ministry of some kind. You know, they're trying to figure out how to connect. So they come to Momentum and we make all these relationships. And I love facilitating the relationships and helping everybody up their game. You know, we've got to learn how to do this evangelization thing as effectively as we can, you know, and bring our A game and try and keep improving our A game, you know, in what we do. And then, you know, I don't know if does that give you a sense?
Yes, it really does. You said it perfectly. And on that note, I know that there are some things that are going on this very year. Here we're interviewing right now at the end of October in 2021, because some people will watch this later on.
Yeah.
But there is going to be an event that you wanted to tell people about. All I'll say is that it's December 4th and 5th, and it's in Dallas, Texas. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. This is the St. Nicholas Christmas show. And this is the ultimate honor for me to be the event planner for this, because it's integrating all the things that I love. Do you know what I mean? The activities for families, parents, educators. We're bringing together an event that helps everyone celebrate the Jesus joy of Christmas. Masango Osong, who runs Adventure Catechism Media, he went out and he went to events with his young children that were Christmas events, and he kept looking for Jesus, and Jesus wasn't there. It's like, in so many ways, our culture leaves Jesus out of his own birthday party. And if you think of that in realistic terms, like a child would think, would you ever leave the birthday child out of their own birthday party? No. So this event is to help families truly immerse themselves in Christian culture of Christmas, with speakers like Scott Hahn, Raymond Arroyo, Chris Stefanik, all together in one weekend. We've got Giancarlo Bernini, who is a Catholic Christian magician, who's going to talk about the mystery and not the magic of Christmas. We have so many activities. I will be there reading my stories in the Virtue Village, which is the encampment of the Three Kings, because I have Amel the Camel as one of my characters. And so we're featuring him in a big way, because his hero is Balthazar, one of the kings that came to honor baby Jesus. So it's an amazing event in Dallas. We hope people will think about making it a destination, or if they're in the Texas region, definitely drive in and come and make this a special time with your family. I truly believe it's going to just transform the way little kids think about Christmas, to bring the Jesus piece in. Even our Santa is St. Nicholas. And we have a guy who's growing the beard right now, and he's going to be St. Nicholas, visiting from heaven just for 2 days. And he's going to be able to help the kids really connect with that gift giving part of Christmas in a fun and joyful way. We're not preaching anything at anyone. This is all about having a fun time, but it's getting the Jesus part of Jesus joy of Christmas in everybody's heart.
I just love, and I will not forget this, I love that whole idea that you don't want to leave Jesus out of his own birthday party. I mean, that's something that I'm going to remember, and I think those who are watching. Tell us again the title of the event, and also, is there a website that you can lead them to?
Absolutely. It's stnicholasuchristmasshow.com. That's the website. So it's the ST as opposed to spelling out the word saint. So stnicholasuchristmasshow.com. And it's called the St. Nicholas Christmas Show. And we have info up on social sites. We have lots of info on the website, and people can contact us. People can contact us still to be an exhibitor. If anybody's in the area and they have a craft or a ministry or anything, get in touch with us about having a table or a booth, because we definitely want to make this a place where everybody flourishes. The families coming flourish, the schools and the the parish leaders come and get energized, as well as all the people that are promoting and selling stuff. Let's shop local at the St. Nicholas Christmas show.
Yeah, no, it sounds perfect. I have a feeling you're going to get even some non-Catholics who might want to come, because let's face it, when you have a family and young children, people of faith want their kids to be able to understand what Christmas is really all about, that it's about the birth of Christ, that celebration of the centerpiece, the person who's the centerpiece of all that we believe. So I just think it's beautiful. Now, is there an online option as well? Are you doing is there any type of online option, or is it strictly a in-person event?
Yeah, it is definitely an in-person experience, just because there's so many different things that are hands-on. We have the Bible Zone with little Catholic tablets that people can play the games. We have Redemption Challenge game area. We get so many different things that are a real face-to-face, real-life experience. We will be capturing video on some of our key speakers and make that available through Catholic Marketing Network or Adventure Catechism Media, but that'll be probably a little ways down the road, I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And is there anything else that's going on either end of this year or early in 2022 that you want our audience to find out about?
Well, I definitely would encourage anybody who is either active in a Catholic business or ministry, even in Catholic music, to keep the Catholic Marketing Network Momentum 22 event on their radar. That's going to be in Chicago, and we're saying it's in Schaumburg, because some people, they hear the word Chicago and they think, oh no, I have to wear a bulletproof vest. But it's in Schaumburg. It's a very peaceful suburb near Chicago, and there is a lot that seems to be percolating. God seems to be really getting things in motion for that event next summer as well. And there may be a whole Catholic musicians and music track for different people that are involved with Catholic music, which is something we haven't done before. So lots of conversation percolating on that when I'm not with my Christmas hat on.
That's right. And may I make a comment about the accommodations there, because I was there at the hotel and stayed there, and it's just beautiful. So when you go to the Catholic Marketing Network event, which is going to be next July, right? Next July.
Yep.
It's a beautiful experience because you're very well taken care of, I will say. Food's great, company's great. And it was just wonderful to be there. Had a wonderful time meeting so many other Catholic ministers too, people who are involved in ministry. Right. And so that was one of the things that I loved the most about it. And seeing you, of course, in person was one of those highlights for us, for Patchwork Heart Ministry, for Bill Snyder and I, and also the St. Raymond Donatus Foundation, where I'm the director. So, so thank you so much for all that you're doing. I wondered if you would have any words of advice for people who are watching and know the work that you're doing as a Catholic author, and maybe they have a heart or a desire to do the same thing, but don't know kind of the ropes. They don't know what to do. Would you have any words of advice for them?
I would say that my journey was helped immensely by coming to a CMN event and connecting with people in the Catholic Writers Guild. The Catholic Writers Guild is a great organization for anybody who is either a established author, but also the author wannabes, the people that never have published yet, but maybe want to. And I really encourage you to connect with people through that, if you feel like that is something you're called to, and then just keep at it, because connecting with others is how we get farther down the road.
That's right. I believe you completely. And it's a good rule of thumb for anyone, but especially I think when you're in Catholic ministry, part of being Catholic is that whole universality, right? That whole idea that we're on mission together. Mm-hmm. And so everything that we're doing together so that we can evangelize the entire world. So I just want to sincerely thank you for the wonderful work that you're doing. Tell us, where can people connect with you on social media? I know you've got a few different sites. I know that you're on Instagram. with the Catholic Marketing Network, because I've even tagged you on different things there. But where else can they connect with you personally?
Right. Most of my social, because it's funny, I'm not as plugged in with all the social stuff as perhaps someone in my position should be. But we definitely have Catholic Marketing Network social. I go by just Catherine C. Gilmore on like Facebook and stuff, or Cathy Gilmore. And I also, you'll see me posting as Virtue Heroes also. So if people want to follow what I'm up to with the storybooks and all the virtue stuff, that's under at Virtue Heroes.
Just remember that word, those two words, Virtue Heroes, and they go together with Cathy Gilmore. So
thank you.
Yes. Well, Cathy, thank you so much for joining us on Journeys in Faith. We're going to have you back again and on our podcast too. You're really an honor for us to host.
Thank you. That was great. Love being with you.
Thank you. And we'll see all of you here next Friday night on Journeys in Faith on Fiat Ministry Network. God bless.
Journeys of Faith is a production of Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry. For more information about Journeys of Faith, email info@fiatministrynetwork.tv. And be sure to friend, follow, and like us on social media. Just search Journeys in Faith with Ann DeSantis.